Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lauren Pogin, a 2020 graduate of Casper College, to sing our national anthem. She will be accompanied by Dr. Eric Unruh, Dean of the School of Fine Arts and Humanities.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lauren. We greatly appreciate your performance.
The 2019-2020 academic year is a special year in the history of Casper College and for you, the graduates, that will forever remember the challenges that you have faced completing your degree or certificate in the midst of a global pandemic. It is truly a unique point in history, but we must not forget your resilience in the face of adversity. As we celebrate your efforts with this commencement ceremony, the people of Wyoming are celebrating with you. Wyoming's Governor, Mark Gordon, has prepared a special message for you in recognition of all that you have accomplished.
Well, good day, and what a great day, and congratulations to you on your achievements, and more about that in a moment. I once had the opportunity to give a commencement address, and I have to say that one of the great quotes about commencement addresses I'm going to take back today. The quote was by the son of a great historian, David McCullough, who goes on to describe how when you're a graduate, you are not unique. Every one of you is in the same gown with the same cap, and it's what you do with your life that makes you different. But just by virtue of this particular type of graduation and the fact that I'm addressing you online in a video, you are unique. The graduating class of 2020 is like none other. And so let me say that your achievements are truly extraordinary. Every graduation is a historic event for the graduate. You've put in a lifetime of work to get to this point. The graduates of 2020, I don't have to tell you, are vastly different. Your world was turned upside down. We saw it start in China in January, and as it kind of came through the entire world, we saw it really strike in Wyoming in the middle of March, and within 1 month, we have an economic catastrophe, the likes of which we haven't seen since World War II. You are graduating under circumstances that we have never seen before. In World War II, in the Great Depression, in the Great Recession, there were different circumstances. People could still get together. We're now socially distancing, we're wearing masks. We don't know exactly how long this type of behavior is going to be present, but you have struggled through these circumstances, and you have succeeded. All degrees present challenges and obstacles that must be overcome. But yours are more than many others. You are a shining example of what Wyoming and the American ethic can bring. The new tools and challenges that sprung up as you approached your collegiate learning goals, they weren't planned. But each of you demonstrated what being a learner is all about. I have to say that one of the most important things I hope you take from your educational experience is that you can learn under all circumstances. And it's fun, it's good, it helps you grow and expand your horizons, your possibilities, and your capacities. Being a lifelong learner is a goal to be sought by all. You adapted, you struggled, and you persevered. Your effort and the efforts of your institution, and most especially your teachers, in reaching out to you to quickly mold a different sort of education to deliver the content that you so eagerly wanted to attain. It's unbelievable, and it's commendable. So this is a day of celebration in a time of historic uncertainty. But that uncertainty with the steps you've taken today is a little bit less. We know, we've seen it over and over again, that the further you go with your education, the higher your earning capacity and the longer you will retain your job. So congratulations for that. You have shown you can adapt and will continue to adapt to whatever the world throws at you, and this world will never come back exactly the way it was. People have learned how to do things like graduate online. That may change, but it may also become more of a norm. You are prepared for that next step in the thing we call life. And life is unpredictable. And just when you have your plans set for where you're going, things all of a sudden happen. And now they've happened in an enormous way. But life will ask you to adapt, adjust, change, start over, and keep going. When I graduated college, I had ambitions to go back to the ranch, and that's what I was going to do. We still ranch. But along the way, I ended up at the Kansas City Federal Reserve Bank. I ended up as treasurer of the state and ultimately as governor. That broad base of knowledge is what helped me get where I am. And it's what will take you wherever it is you are going to go. Life will want things from you that you didn't know you could do. And actually, you know now that you can do almost anything and that you will succeed. Enjoy this day. Enjoy and savor your accomplishment. Run outside, take a cap and throw it as high in the air as you possibly can. I am very proud of you. Your parents are proud of you. Your families and your children are proud of you. Most especially, Wyoming is proud of you. You are an example of Wyoming spirit and what we must do in this time. Congratulations, Godspeed, and God bless you. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Darren Devine, and I am proud to serve as the president of Casper College. It is also my immense pleasure to welcome you to our 74th annual commencement. While I'm saddened that we are not all together celebrating this event at the Casper Event Center, I want our graduates to know our enthusiasm for your accomplishments is not diminished. Indeed, I have asked all the Casper College employees to join us at this exact time and view this ceremony as it is released. Know that we are experiencing this event with you at this very moment, and we could not be more proud of you and your accomplishments. Now, for some numbers and interesting facts on the class of 2020. This year, we have 178 students participating in this, our first and hopefully only virtual commencement. We have a total of 669 students this year that have earned the right to graduate during the 2019-2020 academic year. They have earned a combined total of 644 degrees and 169 certificates. There are 236 men and 433 women in this year's class. Our graduates hail from 28 states other than Wyoming, as well as 7 foreign countries. All 23 Wyoming counties are represented, and 386 of our graduates hail from right here in Natrona County. We have 7 international students that will graduate from Casper College this year. I would like to single them out, if I may. Nazlı Biatzit from Turkey. Raquel Ferrer Bernad from Spain. Jovana Jurmik from Serbia. Milo Laycraft from Canada. Daisy Raquel Quesada Araya from Costa Rica. Selma Satre from Norway. Angus Smith from Canada. And Reka Seuss from Hungary. Our youngest graduate this afternoon is Jayla Johnson, who is 17. To give you an idea, Jayla won't even turn 18 for several months yet. While at Casper College, Jayla earned a 3.9 GPA, which allows her to qualify as a candidate for distinction. Since Jayla is participating today in our virtual graduation, she, by virtue of that, graduates college before she will graduate high school, as she's not scheduled to graduate from K-Dub for another several weeks yet. Jayla, you're off to a fantastic start to your future. Congratulations. This year we have 33 veterans or active service members who have earned the right to graduate. Please allow me to take a moment and thank each of you for your service to our country. The graduate who is the farthest from home this year, Trinity Bennett from Honolulu, Hawaii, 3,299 miles. Tonight, we have 7 students graduating with us who earned a GPA of 4.0. We have a couple sets of family members graduating together this afternoon. Jennifer Miller and Denise Palmer, who were sisters, and another set of sisters, Grace Roden and Robin Roden. The following employees have family members who are graduating this afternoon. Tracy Hazley's son, Michael Hazley Harshman. Lori Johnstone's daughter, Taylor Johnstone. And Jeff McCarty's son, Samuel Joseph McCarty. I would like to give a special shout out to our student academic teams. While neither our forensics team nor our livestock judging team were able to complete their season this year due to COVID-19 restrictions, we had several students who are well on their way to earning high honors, and most importantly, all of these students represented Casper College incredibly well. I want to give a special shout out again and thank you for such a wonderful year. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not mention our Region 9 women's basketball team. While it was crushing that the national tournament was canceled and thus we didn't get to see just how far our ladies would have advanced in the brackets, let me remind you of one fact. In their last outing of the year, the Regional 9 championship game, the ladies defeated the number 2 ranked team in the nation. Ladies, you're all champions. Way to go. Now, let me welcome Kim Bird, our Vice President for Student Services, to the podium to continue our program.
The recipient of the 2020 Distinguished Alumni Award is Jerry Quinlan. Jerry has been a positive influence in the lives of coaches, students, and athletes during his many years as an educator and coach. In his youth, he was crowned the Wyoming State Champion Outstanding Wrestler. As an educator, he taught English and Social Studies, where he served as the department chair of the Social Studies Department at Natrona County High School. As a coach, he served as the activities director while coaching wrestling, football, and track. He was awarded the Wyoming Coaches Association Coach of the Year 3 times, all while garnering impressive statistics from his athletes. All too often, educators get overlooked, but today we honor a man who has dedicated his life to uplifting and shaping young people into the men and women that serve us in government, hospitals, law enforcement, and more. It is with great honor that we give Jerry Quinlan the 2020 Distinguished Alumni Award for improving our community through education. I present this award, which is inscribed, "In recognition of outstanding contributions to education, athletics, and the community, Jerry Quinlan."
I really can't say how surprised I am at this particular award. I am honored, I'm pleased, and I look back through my old Casper College annual, and I see many people perhaps at that era that might be very well deserving. But since you've awarded it to me, I'm going to keep it. And I hope that Casper College continues the success that it has. I thank the Board of Trustees and those who voted, and I'm really happy to be this recipient of this award. Thank you very much to Casper College and all who's helping with this.
The recipient for this year's Commitment to Excellence Award is Dana Vanberg. He receives this award as an educator, benefactor, volunteer, and alumni. Throughout Dana's career, he has been a well-respected educator, teaching students from Dean Morgan Middle School and later as an adjunct instructor at Casper College. He has spent numerous hours volunteering at the Western History Center, collecting oral histories as well as establishing 5 funds at the Casper College Foundation for students and the campus. He has given freely of his resources and time to the Casper College community. The college and its students are better off because of his efforts. Congratulations to Dana Vanberg for his commitment to excellence. Accepting on Dana's behalf is Danica Sveda, Associate Director of Donor and Alumni Relations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It is my great pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Mariah McCurdy. Mariah is a non-traditional student who is completing her public relations degree at Casper College while concurrently attending the University of Wyoming to finish up her bachelor's degree in communication. This is actually Mariah's second consecutive graduation from Casper College. One of the biggest driving forces in Mariah's success at Casper College has been getting involved with on-campus clubs, namely the National Society of Leadership and Success and the Honors Program at Casper College. Mariah states, "As cliche as it might sound, these groups helped me hold myself accountable." Mariah became the president of the National Society of Leadership and Success, also known as NSLS, in the fall semester of 2018. She has been actively advocating for their members since. Her advisors, Nick Whips, Kelly Green, and Linda Tuhey, all helped her recognize her potential and were integral of her growth as a leader, a confident student, and a young professional. During her time at Casper College, Mariah has worked extremely hard to gain the skills necessary for a fruitful career. Balancing time between school, work, the NSLS, and the Engage Council, which is a networking of young professionals working toward inclusion on the state and local level to diversify the economy and make Wyoming a place where young professionals want to live, has not been an easy task. Beyond that, the NSLS's vast community involvement, especially with many local pantries for food insecurity, as well as their advocacy and outreach with teen leadership, has created an ambassadorship within herself. Her love for Casper as well as Wyoming has given her many opportunities and guided her into her dream position working in local economic development. Mariah's path to where she is today was not easy, and it is safe to say she is focused but not finished. Ambitious goals, exceptional role models, and being an accountable leader at Casper College, as well as the community, has laid a sturdy foundation for her growth. As she continues to work hard to make Wyoming a place to call home and attract those who have left to come back, she leans into all she has learned through her journey so far and thanks Casper College for their unyielding support the whole way. I believe it is easy to see why Mariah was also voted as the 2020 Student of the Year this past February by the Wyoming Community College trustees. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates of 2020 virtual commencement, your keynote speaker, Mariah McCurdy.
Thank you, Kim. I am honored to be here today, and I want to thank Casper College for having me speak. Truth be told, I had my speech written a few months ago, and I was so proud of myself for being ahead of the curve. And originally, I wanted to talk about failing forward and leadership and the importance of getting out into the community and serving. Let's just have a laugh at that last one. How ironic. Am I wrong? The speech that I planned has no relevancy today. In fact, nothing that was done 9 weeks ago has any relevancy today. We have had to completely readjust what our world looks like. That's why I stand in front of you today on screen rather than in person. Our world has changed rapidly before our eyes in profound ways. In a matter of days, our thriving economy plummeted as we boarded up shops to comply with recommendations to flatten the curve. Everything hit just in time for our spring break, so we settled in. We locked ourselves in our homes and prepared for quarantine. I had no idea what quarantine looked like, nor really what it meant. I was hoping things would blow over in a couple weeks, but we soon learned that that wasn't going to be the case. Schools were forced to close, and work went remote. We saw countless pleas to stay home from exhausted medical staff from states hit much harder by the virus than us. We watched our communities succumb to panic buying as our own grocery stores were unable to keep up with the demand for just regular household staples such as milk, eggs, protein, and of course, toilet paper. But something happened. We saw our community gracefully pivot and adjust. Our local restaurants retained as many essential staffers as possible and began offering curbside and delivery service. Our grocery stores have drastically cut hours, but have kept employees in order to serve the needs of our community. Our community has even banded together in order to sew PPE for the front lines and for other essential workers. Every howl that you hear at the 8 o'clock hour that echoes across our community is in honor of our essential workers and our frontline heroes. And it's proof that we are Casper strong and we are resilient. So before I jump into what I came here to talk with you all today about, as an aside, I want us to not forget the important adjustments that we, the graduating class of 2020, have made and what we will remember about this unique semester and some of the lessons we may have learned along the way. For example, for those of you who had a math class this semester, you might remember COVID-19 graciously bought you some leeway. And by leeway, I mean you have now officially passed stats. Finally! I see you and I applaud you. Math might be hard in general, so adapting to an online course is nothing to joke about. But I'm glad to see you survived. And the lesson here? Sometimes passing by default is still passing. For me, I'm going to remember the semester by the lack of toilet paper throughout the entire world. Toilet paper was literally so scarce that I actually spent $45, shipping and handling included, on a pack of toilet paper. In my excitement to actually find said toilet paper, I failed to read the fine print. The 6 rolls of toilet paper were so scrawny that together they made one whole traditional roll of toilet paper, and not the mega kind. I didn't even know that they made rolls of toilet paper that small. So the lesson here, read the fine print. The second thing our graduating class is sure not to forget is the Tiger King. So even if you haven't watched this gem of a documentary, I'm sure that you are aware of the wreck that is known as the Tiger King. It blew up everywhere. There's no logical explanation to pinpoint the success it found, except for the horde of bored students and bored workers forced to stay home during quarantine. And the lesson here, as unpopular as it might be, Carol Baskin might be a nice lady. Don't throw tomatoes. Remember how 9 weeks ago, as we left our houses in the morning and we would look over at our pets and say, man, I wish I could be a cat. Or how we wholeheartedly wish that every day could be the weekend. Do you remember putting on real pants? Our naive 9 weeks ago selves. I think it's safe to say that no one could have ever guessed how painfully boring sitting at home watching Netflix could be. I tested this hypothesis. My home was my sanctuary. It was a place that was once an escape, but now it was my prison. My home was now a classroom, an office, a gym, and my entertainment. Being home no longer felt comfortable. It was suffocating. So this brings me to what I am here to talk to you all about today. I want to talk about how disruption is a gift, not punishment. How we all must adjust continually throughout our lives. And I want to talk about how we do ourselves a disservice when we mope and stay actively inactive. I should know, as a person that is constantly on the go, 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 to pause and not do anything was very painful. To sit and do nothing, or sit and white knuckle an essay, was like pumping from a dry well. The physical weight of the world was just buzzing around me, and it was heavy on my shoulders. I sat in my house, and I was confused by this new reality. An overwhelming feeling of anxiety washed over me. It was that true, uncomfortable, soul-crushing anxiety. I couldn't clean, craft, or exercise the anxiety away. And after 4 weeks, I broke down. I realized that I was the most anxious about the state of the world. What was going to happen on the other side of this pandemic? When could I go to Walmart at midnight again, or even Hobby Lobby? How long would it take for things to return to normal? And what did normal even mean anymore? As I looked around, I knew I was not in normal. From my grungy sweats to my days-old hair bun, I was a mess. My quarantine uniform or my fuzzy robe and flip-flops, they were getting less uncomfortable by the day and totally giving off a state hospital vibe. I had to have some grace with myself, but I had to snap out of whatever was holding me back. So I got to work. I began journaling, taking my own inventory because I knew I could find the solution within. When I boil it down, there were 4 things that helped me adjust and brought me out of the toxic self-pity and brought me into the present. These 4 things helped me tap into my resiliency reserve and got me back on track. I promise you, if you do these 4 things, you will be able to find comfort among the chaos and be quicker to adjust and come out of difficult seasons better. So first, organization. During quarantine, I had proven to myself that my time management was on another level. And by another level, I mean non-existent, as if I'd never managed time in my life. So I had to get organized. Organization did not mean the literal act of putting things in their places or throwing things away. I had already wasted plenty of time doing that. It meant having self-discipline. It meant keeping a routine so I wouldn't continue to waste time through escapism. It meant being purposeful with my tasks. I had to put an effort into showing up not only for myself, but for my household and to the other people who needed me. It also meant no more depression naps, no more putting off homework, or staying up too late. I had to set an alarm. I had to wake up with enough time to put myself together enough to use the camera feature on Zoom. It meant writing a shopping list before I went to the store so I wouldn't just be meandering and overspending in an effort to cope. It meant having enough respect for myself that I didn't waste this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity on being anxious, depressed, and resistant the whole time. So secondly, in tandem with being organized, I had to be honest, but positive. I had to be honest with myself, my partner, and all the other people who regularly leaned on me for support. I was the one who needed help and support, which are not usually things I ask for. I had to be honest with myself to know that I wasn't doing a great job at doing it all myself. I was falling apart. I had to be understanding and positive, and I found immense comfort in knowing that I wasn't going through all of this alone. There were going to be brighter days ahead. I didn't have to give my sour opinion constantly. I didn't have to snipe at people when I was feeling grumpy. I didn't need to go down the anxiety rabbit hole whenever my mind wandered. I just needed to stay positive. Through positive self-honesty, I was able to build trust within myself, which brings me to my third tip: demonstrate confidence. I began getting back on schedule, actually showering, and wearing real pants, the ones with the buttons. I had to show up for myself. I was beginning to thrive in the middle of chaos. The constant dark cloud that was over me was definitely lifting, and I was beginning to recognize myself again. I began to become more confident, and I recognized that with complete certainty, I had the capacity to do hard things. I am uniquely equipped to handle everything that has been thrown my way, and so are you. As my partner and former Marine Corps sergeant says all the time, I had to embrace the suck. We are role models in some way. People look up to us to model confidence. Our confidence makes others confident because confidence is contagious. Every lesson and all the growth that has happened is because I've learned to adapt and remain confident. Confident in the fact that I had already made it through many hard seasons that have prepared me, and there were certainly more hard seasons to come. I hope you have had the grace and honesty with yourself to recognize your own strengths and your own shortcomings during this season. We just got to move forward. So if you followed, I have explained how self-pity has helped me recognize how I was resisting change throughout the whole quarantine. Each piece of advice directly feeds into the next in a synergistic way, creating a foundation for self-correcting behavior and adaptability, especially during times of chaos. I had to be organized. I had to be honest but positive, and I needed to demonstrate confidence for myself and the people around me. So my final word of advice for the graduating class of 2020 is to throw out the old playbook. As we go forward into a post-pandemic world, things may look the same, but things are not the same. The world's shortcomings came to light over the past 9 weeks, and the gaping holes that have emerged are not comforting. As humans, we have had very little regard for one another and our environment. We have been very focused on ourselves and engaged only at the surface level. We've had very little time to do anything that didn't ultimately benefit us. And doing things for the heck of it, if only I have time, we used to say, but now we have the time. Maybe it became glaringly obvious that our priorities were in the wrong place, or that the uninterrupted time with family, while an absolute dumpster fire, gave us the unparalleled insight into the lives happening all around us. We didn't notice these things because we were too busy trying to fit our interactions into specific times. I don't know about you, but once I stopped shoving my relationships into a box to be unpacked between 5 and 9 p.m. after work, I was able to actually nourish and grow my relationships. What the pandemic has given us and the world is the chance to pause and come back better. It has given us time to recognize that we need to adjust. All of the environmental shifts and the healing due to less pollution and people staying home can't be denied. For far too long, our surface level attempts at healing the environment have not yielded any results, which is now evident. So like I said, in a post-pandemic world, things are going to look different. Things should be different. Business will be different. Dealing with sickness in a work or a school environment will be different. Working remotely will become necessary. And it's a great thing for Wyoming. We are such a rural state. So how we treat each other should be different, because we have to be different at the end of this. If you are one of those people still clinging to when things go back to normal, this new landscape is going to be very hard for you. 9 weeks ago, normal was not woke like today's normal is. We were suffering, and we shouldn't want the lives we had pre-quarantine. Embracing the suck, adapting to change, and creating the world that we want around us is nothing short of remarkable. Because without chaos, nothing evolves. I am grateful to be here, virtually honoring Casper College's 2020 graduates that have fought so hard to get to this point, and those that still have a ways to go as we go on to the next chapter of school. Getting here was no walk in the park, but it has prepared us to do hard things, and they're still going to be harder. If it wasn't for some form of support, I know I wouldn't have made it here today intact. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to my family, my peers, my teachers, my fellowship, and my mentors. You all have been a part of my challenge network, requiring me to reach higher and do better. I appreciate the opportunities that you have given to me. Specifically, I want to thank my fiance, who has dealt with neglect as I did my schoolwork, day job, handled my executive board responsibilities, and sometimes I was just a downright crab. I really appreciate your support, and I want you to know that I love you. I also want to thank my family, my mom, my dad, Pam, my brothers Hunter and Dylan, the entirety of my step family, and my future in-laws. You have all modeled what a strong work ethic looks like and the importance of family. You have all taught me to live with gratitude and the necessity of rest. I appreciate you. I want to thank my team at Casper College, who have believed in me and helped me flourish into the leader that I am today. First, all of my NSLSers. You have shown up and done the work. Thank you for your commitment. Nick, Kelly, and Linda, I truly believe that you have been the catalyst for my success. You've helped me recognize my innate qualities and cultivate my confidence to lead. Thank you for your guidance. And finally, I want to thank the Casper College Alumni Association and my scholarship donors, namely Paul Halleck. Paul, you have been so kind to me and graciously allowed me to attend school with less financial worry. One day, I will be a donor for Casper College, and I will model myself after you. I appreciate you. and everyone else. I challenge you to be different in the wake of COVID-19. There was much to be learned, and I hope that some of those lessons have presented themselves to you during this time. Our resiliency is directly proportionate to the lessons that we have had in our lives and the ones that are still to come. As you adapt to change, may you also find the balance and flourish forward. I want to thank you all for your time. Congratulations, class of 2020.
It is my privilege to introduce Riley Box, Casper College's Student Senate President, who will announce the Club of the Year and then present the class of 2020 to Dr. Brandon Cosine, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Riley is a communications multimedia major. Last year, Riley served as the Public Relations Officer for Student Senate. This year, he was named as the president and has done a great job. One of Riley's biggest accomplishments this year was Spirit Week. There were activities planned every day and ended the week with Senate giving away 750 t-shirts for our homecoming basketball game. Riley was also an integral part of hosting our biggest Thundering Through Barriers event, where over 60 students participated and conversed around conversations around suicide prevention and awareness, and helping fellow classmates get the help that they needed. Riley plans on attending the University of Wyoming next year, where he will continue his studies in communication. During his time at Casper College, he was also an active member in Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, the National Society of Leadership and Success, and the Casper College Music Department, being the leader of the percussion section in the concert band. Riley was an active member in the school newspaper, The Chinook, and wrote for them this past semester. Riley's big goal is to someday be a movie producer. Welcome, Riley.
Working with the Student Senate these past 2 years, one thing has stuck in my mind more than anything else: the hard work and dedication of our many clubs and organizations on campus. I have never before seen so many separate organizations work together for one common good: make Casper College great. One club this year has stood out above the rest, however. This club has shown dedication to Casper College through events, fundraisers, and student participation. They help jumpstart Spirit Week and continue to guide students to new heights through their many activities and leadership possibilities. They have led fundraisers galore and continue to not settle with what they have done, but what they can do. Students find a bond with this organization like few others and continue to pursue the ranks therein. For the dedication to the school and its students, for the constant support, and the many events and fundraisers, the Student Senate is honored to announce the National Society of Leadership and Success as the Club of the Year. Dr. Cosine, it is with great honor that I present you the members of the Casper College graduating class of 2020.
Trustee Degenfelter, in your role as Vice President of the Board of Trustees and on behalf of the Casper College faculty, I recommend to you that the degrees and certificates be awarded and presented to the graduates of the class of 2020.
Thank you, Dr. Cosine. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the state of Wyoming, the rules and regulations of the Casper College District Board, and upon recommendations of the faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Associate of Arts, Associate of Fine Arts, Associate of Business, Associate of Nursing, Associate of Science, Associate of Applied Science, as well as the certificates of completion as listed in the official program.
This evening, some graduates will be announced as candidates for graduation with distinction. To graduate with distinction means that the student has maintained a 3.80 or higher grade point average for all college coursework taken. Please welcome Richard Burke, who will introduce our graduates.
From the School of Business and Industry, Joseph Angelo Dutro.
Benjamin Garvin.
Cody Hall. Randy Hatcher. Aubrey Ann Lassiter. Nathaniel Logeman. Neely Lucas, candidate for distinction. Thomas McClure. Arvid Messmer. Megan Miller. Keith Moore. Michael S. Palmer. Michael Lee Ponga. Tracy Raymer, candidate for distinction. Robin Lily Roden. Belinda Stiles.
Ellie Yore.
From the School of Fine Arts and Humanities, Emily Elena Albright. Bailey Elizabeth Anderson. Nazali Bayazit. Whitney Elizabeth Brood. Abby Burkholder. Melissa Champion. Emerald J. Clark. Megan K. Compton. Sarah Courier. Chandler Dean. Brianna DeGroot. Caleb Fenlawson. Brian Thomas Fernando. Jalen Harris. Rachel Hutchison. Rachel Katzman. Tessa Marie Kaufman. Savannah Knight Meggs. Ryan Page Calvapello. Savannah Masters. Malia McCarthy. Sam McCarty. Kenzie Merritt. Nicole Catherine Ann Pace. Philip Pepple, Jr. Lauren Pogin, candidate for distinction. Daisy Raquel Caseda Araya, candidate for distinction. Carly Ray Sanchez. Jesse Sanchez, graduate with distinction. Matthew Matrix Sanchez. Rebecca Rebdus Sechrist. Laura Sinkowitz. Viveka Nija Stewart. Elizabeth Kelly Wyand. From the School of Health Science, Amanda Adair. Hannah Edelman. Amber Bigford. Elizabeth Booth. Morgan Cherie Bundy. Bailey Elizabeth Casebolt. Katie Deter. Marissa Doctor. Kara Ann Diaz. Alina Fowler. Amanda Funderburk. Lisa Gunyon, candidate for distinction. Megan Elizabeth Hayes Ashcraft. Elizabeth Hyatt. Sadie Hogan, candidate for distinction. Taylor Catherine Howell. Chloe Hushka. Abigail Annette Kethman Jewell. Taylor Johnstone. Kaylee Kammerer. Kaylee Lambert, candidate for distinction. Marissa Ann Marie List, candidate for distinction. Sarah Susan McKinney. Jennifer Marie Miller. Sarah Miller. Emma Louise Mummy, candidate for distinction. Troy Anthony Murray. Jessica Myrie. Emily Newman, candidate for distinction. Missa Oyen. Christy Ray Pace. Lori Denise Palmer. Shauna Plunkett. Angel Reyes. Lenita Marie Roberts, candidate for distinction. Crystal Rodenbaugh. Melissa Sykes. Teresa L. Simpson. Catherine Marie Singer, candidate for distinction. Kelsey Steele. Kevin Walsh, candidate for distinction. Sable Walton. Benjamin Wilder, candidate for distinction. Brianna Wood. Bailey N. Yarger. From the School of Science, Austin Dawn Butler, candidate for distinction. Colin Michael Cahill. Wyatt Corson Clostio, candidate for distinction. Wyatt Cox. Cassidy Jade Delozier. Kyle Despain. Michael Guile. Kirby Hales. Michael H. Harshman. Bailey Johnson. Cody Johnson. Milo Laycraft, candidate for distinction. Natalie M. Leesinger, candidate for distinction. Taylor Marie McCabe. Tanner McInerney. Erica Mountain. Russell Lawrence Plumer. Lindsay Richardson. James Severance. Courtney Simonton. Kira Smith. Reka Seuss. White St. Clair Jr. Michael Stanley. Taylor Jean Starks. Kennedy Took. Michaela Tucker. Kylie Watson, candidate for distinction. Katie Wilde. Stratton Wattaway. From the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Catherine Elizabeth Anderson. Nicole Arner. Mary Ingrid Austin. Nalani Bennett. Laura Black. Riley Box, candidate for distinction. Aubrey Faye Burris. Maggie Riley Connolly. Shayna Eberly. Lynette Fankhauser. Raquel Ferrer Bernard. Sarah Flores. Amber Nicole Fulton. Joshua Michael Gaither. Caitlin Glynn. Amanda Haller. Guy Reginald Harris. Sierra Brooke Harvey. Elisa Hogg. Tierra Herman. Megan Jackson. Owen Isaiah Matthew Januska. Claire Johnson. Jayla Johnson, candidate for distinction. Jessica Lynn Keith. Hope Clote. Deborah Martinez. Braden Mason. Carly McClure. Mariah McCurdy. Jennifer Ann Mesichuk. Aubrey Newman. Tishawn Nicholas. Larissa Olson, candidate for distinction. Jamie Kimberly Olson. Devin Charch Pike, candidate for distinction. Courtney Raymond Iverson. Grace Daisy Roden. Katie Elizabeth S. Richards, candidate for distinction. Rodriguez. Nathan Patrick Romberg, candidate for distinction. Bryony Ross. Kristen Rush. Selma Christence Ivitig Sater. Tricia Sanchez. Haley Schumacher, graduate with distinction. Taylor Ann Spain. Laura D. Tuft. Vincent Michael Van Voot. Cassidy Catherine Ward. John C. Webb. Brinley Lene Weber. Delaney Werbelow. Peyton Riley Wirtz.
A special thank you to Richard Burke, theater instructor, for announcing our graduates, Dr. Eric Unruh, our pianist and composer, for our processional, and Lauren Pogin for singing of the national anthem. As we prepare to close the 2020 Commencement Ceremony, I am pleased to introduce Casper College alumnus Ben Winkler for the alumni welcome.
On behalf of Casper College graduates of the past 75 years, I welcome you as fellow alumni. You carry with you the institution's history of excellence, and we look forward to hearing of your future successes. As the first class to graduate Casper College without the opportunity to walk across the stage, you have overcome historic challenges to reach this moment. Welcome to the T-Bird family. We applaud your tenacity to stay the course towards a brighter tomorrow.
In keeping with our commencement ceremony tradition, I would now like to call on Dr. Paul Marquardt. Thank you for watching the Casper College virtual commencement. From all of us at Casper College, your faculty, the administration, and all employees, we admire you for your diligence and flexibility in getting through these last 2 months. Thank you for sending in your slides and being part of the first ever, and I hope last, Casper College virtual ceremony. I now declare this ceremony closed. Graduates of 2020, congratulations.